So it is Friday, June 5th. It's about 5 o'clock at night, p.m. And 75 degrees out. It's really nice. I have here the beginning of a project. So I showed some time ago the possibility of my getting a pump that eventually would be hooked up to some solar power, and I now have that pump. However, I'm not prepared to hook it up to solar power. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hook this pump up to just regular old 115 volts or whatever, 110 volts, and irrigate this new little backyard of mine over here. Okay, here we have it. This is the Ebara Optima submersible pump. So what are the advantages of this thing? Well, you know, this is 3/4 horse. It can hook up to 115 volts, and it is completely submersible. You put this whole thing under the water. It has a 1.25 inch outlet here, and down here is the intake. And coming out of that, so you can have 1.25 inch, and then I'll put a little check valve right there so that it doesn't have to fill up the pipe every single time. So, and then and it's stainless steel. That's the other big advantage. The other thing is it's got so stainless steel, meaning, you know, it's not going to corrode an awful lot. I can tell you that's an advantage if it is truly stainless steel throughout, because I've got a $600 pump. This was a $230 pump or so, and I've got a 2 horsepower 220 volt system that's watering in actually quite a huge area out here, including this area in my backyard, in this area of the backyard anyway. That is not stainless steel, and I can tell it's not stainless steel. You know, those pumps, they will last 5 years, and then you got to replace them, and they cost $700 or more. So this one is it's not that big. I don't need a system that's big. It's obviously very small. It's only 3/4 horsepower, and I'm just hooking it up to do some irrigation on some tomatoes and stuff like that. And so it'll just sort of be dripping. This over here is the float. So, you know, if the water goes down to the point where this pump can't draw it, the float goes down, and that's sort of a dead man switch. So the water level gets too low, the pump will turn off automatically. If the water level is high, it switches the thing on so that it can draw water. And so they've got it set up this way, you know, as opposed to a sort of like a, well, I've got one here somewhere. Inside this box, it's a little thing on a wire, and it just sort of floats on the water. When the water level goes down, it tilts down, and that throws the switch off, right? So instead, this is kind of like one of those newfangled things that you might see in a toilet. All right, so here's the simple setup. This thing right here, 1.25 inch, screws in. Okay, this is 1.25 inch here. This guy screws in there. We have 1.25 inch coming out from there. So my plan is to submerge this into actually a plastic bucket, you know, one of those 5-gallon buckets. This is a check valve here, which will allow the water to flow out but not back. Now the advantage of that is if I'm running, you know, 100 foot of pipe, going out somewhere, when the pump turns on, it doesn't have to fill up that 100-foot every time, because the check valve holds that water in there. And then after the check valve, excuse my finger there, after the check valve, basically put in a 90-degree piece that goes out wherever you want it. Okay, so I like, I don't know how much I like it, but I bought sort of this flex tube thing, and it will, that's what I'm going to use for my 90-degree angle, is that, you know, that way I can sort of move it around. It doesn't have to, my irrigation pipes don't necessarily have to be exactly in the same spot, and I'll be able to sort of adjust it as needed. So that's it. I'm just sort of setting it up roughly to begin with, turn it on just to sort of see how it works, and I can fine tune it as time goes on. All right, I have now taken that pump and I put it inside this 5-gallon bucket with a lid on it. The advantage here is I can drill holes all around that bucket to let the water in, but the holes that I will drill will be very, very fine, so that only the smallest of particulates can get in there, particulates. And you saw the holes in the bottom of that pump. You know, apparently that pump can, you know, let some particulates go through it that are, you know, virtually a 1/4 inch in size according to those holes. Well, I don't like that idea, so I'm putting it in this bucket and I'm drilling a whole bunch of holes in there that will be about an 1/8 inch, and you know, obviously enough holes that will give me enough volume of water to make up, you know, that pump will be able to draw it. And then I'll just put that whole bucket down in the water. And I've got the cord coming out, and so I'm almost ready to go over there and just dump it in the water and see what happens. Okay, well, I've got this thing submerged. The pump is working. It sort of surges. I think I don't have enough holes in there. It's not able to draw enough water in quickly enough before it drains that bucket out, and therefore the pump turns off because it thinks there's no water in there. And of course, there is no water in there. It's draining it out faster than it can replace it. So I have to drill more holes. And you can see here, sort of comes out the end there. I'm going to reduce this pipe here. This is 1 1/4 inches now. I'm going to reduce it about right here to 1 inch. And continue the line up over there. Well, I'll put in some drip line. Here go my ducks. Well, so I'm done, kind of. That is a relief hole that the instructions said to put in. So I've made this thing so that I can take it apart if I ever want to. And it is dripping.
I've never done drip irrigation before, like using the actual drip irrigation line. And I don't know if I really like it. I mean, for the amount of dripping that I'm getting, which I know is supposed to be good.
Just don't know if I like it. I'm probably going to get rid of it and do my own kind of a drip with drilling the holes in the PVC. pointing right down at the base of the plants. Well, it could use a little bit of tweaking. So that's how the irrigation system works. Well, what I'm doing is working on the roof of the Sandbox playhouse slide thing. And what I decided to do, as opposed to throwing some canvas over the top of it, was just use some corrugated plastic, stuff that you use for, I don't know what you use that stuff for, like awnings over patios and stuff. And so it comes in 8-foot lengths, and I had to buy 4 of them. They're 26 inches wide, and I just cut it right down the middle on that little table saw over there. And because I only need 4-foot lengths for the roof. And so now I'm just cutting some supports that are going to go across between whatever, the rafters, and this will go in between them to give support to the plastic roof. So those are the little cross pieces I was talking about, on which I'm going to put these things. And then I'm going to put those things on top of that. I've got a metal V piece that goes over the top there. And that will be the last thing that I put on for the roof. Hit 90 degrees today. Thinking about putting some little railings across there. Yeah, looks like you're having fun there. Oh, you broke it. That looks like some garbage. Oh. A lot of berries coming in. So, a red berry there. Red berry down there. But these red ones that are coming in now, they are going to taste really good. This guy, he eats those things. You eat those strawberries, don't you? Yeah, he knows exactly what they are. Yeah, I've got one for you. Okay, I'm gonna get him a red one.